Welcome back. In a win for former President Donald Trump, a New York appeals court sharply reduced the nearly $500 million bond in his civil fraud case. However, that ruling comes on the same day a judge sets a trial date for a separate criminal case. NBC's Alice Barr has the details from Washington.
A victory and a setback today for Donald Trump in his New York legal fights. A judge ruling jury selection can begin April 15th in the hush money case against the former president, rejecting his legal team's request for another delay and setting him on track for his first criminal trial, just as the 2024 campaign is ramping up.
What they do is they do election interference, which is court cases, and let's try and tie him up and let's take as much of his money as possible.
Legal analysts say the case is about election interference, but that former President Trump is not the victim. Rather, he's accused of falsifying business records to hide a hush money payment to cover up an alleged affair with a porn star before the 2016 election.
It's about an effort to pull the wool over the eyes of voters, to ensure that they didn't have access to important information about a candidate.
Mr. Trump denies the allegations.
I would have no problem testifying. I didn't do anything wrong.
Separately, an appeals court reduced the bond former President Trump has to pay in his New York civil fraud case from more than $450 million down to $175 million. And instead of paying up today or risking having his assets seized, he has an extra 10 days to come up with the money. The former president said he will pay it.
And we'll post whatever is necessary, whether it be cash or security or bonds.
The Trump legal team working to appeal a judge's ruling from February that found Mr. Trump liable for lying about his wealth to get better deals from lenders. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
In other news, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun will step down at the end of the year in part of a broad management shakeup for the embattled aerospace giant. The chairman of the board and president and CEO of Boeing Commercial Airplanes are leaving the company too. The departures comes as airlines and regulators have been increasing calls for major changes at the company after a host of quality and manufacturing flaws on Boeing planes. Scrutiny intensified after a January 5th accident. You may remember when a door plug blew out of a nearly new Boeing plane minutes into an Alaskan Airlines flight.
Let's not avoid what happened with Alaska Air. Let's not avoid the call for action. Let's not avoid the changes that we have to make in our factory. Let's not avoid the need to slow down a bit and let the supply chain catch up. We got to get at that, just like we got at the rest. And we will get through that. We will get through that. And I've committed myself to the board to do exactly that.
Calhoun for months has promised investors, airline customers, and the general public that Boeing will get its struggles under control. The Carnival Freedom is back in Florida today after a fire on board Saturday. This is the second time that the exhaust funnel of the Carnival Freedom went up in flames during a trip. The passengers were near the Bahamas on Saturday when it happened. The cruise line says crews quickly contained the fire. The technical team assessed the ship in Freeport over the weekend, and then Carnival announced it was canceling cruises scheduled for today, Friday. Witnesses say the fire was started by a lightning strike, but Carnival is still working to confirm that. Millions of Americans could soon lose subsidies for internet access. The $14 billion Affordable Connectivity Program will run out of funding this spring unless Congress approves more money. It provides $30 a month to low-income households for their internet bills and $75 a month to those on eligible tribal lands. Still to come on Valley News Live, we'll take a look at current road conditions here in the Valley. Plus, when it might all clear up, Joseph has a look at your forecast.